Good evening and welcome to the St. Charles County Council meeting of July 25th. We'd like to begin our meeting with an invocation from Pastor Austin McCandless of the Faith United Church of Christ in Wentzville, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilman Mike Klinghammer. Please stand.
I want to thank you for inviting me here this evening. This is my second time. I didn't realize these proceedings were recorded my first time around, so I actually wrote something rather than off the cuff. I invite you all to join me in an attitude of prayer. O merciful Spirit, those who have gathered here have done so because of their great love of St. Charles County. Our methods will differ, but our goal is the same. And so we ask your blessing this evening. In confusion, grant us clarity. In frustration, grant us patience. In division, grant us unity. May the conversation and decisions made here tonight help bring justice to the downtrodden, mercy for the afflicted, peace for the distressed, and prosperity for us all. In your grace, hear our plea, O God. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Donna, would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Joe Brazel. Councilmember Mike Elam.
Here.
Councilmember Dave Hammond.
Here.
Councilmember Joe Cronin.
Here.
Councilmember Terry Hollander.
Here.
Councilmember Mike Klinghammer.
Here.
Councilmember John White.
Here.
Okay, moving on for public presentations. I do not believe we have one tonight, but I'd like to take this opportunity to ask the council. This section was reserved for people that had reports to bring to the council for relatively short durations of 10 or 15 minutes. Do you guys like this? Do you want to keep this format rolling, or do you want to just pull work sessions more often? Any feedback?
I prefer it to be on this part. I think that by the time we break down and set up, it's kind of redundant. If it's 15 minutes or shorter, I think the work sessions work out well. If we need to have something that requires a lot of dialogue, then that's the appropriate or a good format. But if someone's just making a presentation to us and it's going to be on the big screen anyway, I would just assume do it in the council meeting.
Works for me.
Okay. Tell you what, we have one scheduled for August 8th. Mr. Elam's involved with that one. We'll look at the presentation and figure out which portion of the meeting it fits into. Okay. Moving on from there, we're into public comments. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker. We will alternate back and forth between pro and con. And as far as we would appreciate it if you would fill out a speaker's comment card, so we have a way to contact you after the meeting if we want to discuss this. I know a lot of folks are here regarding the McClay Mansion project, and I wanted to tell you that unfortunately, more than likely, we will not be moving that forward tonight because the proper notification was not given. We found out through staff looking through all the details. When the project was changed slightly, the notification we were supposed to send out 266 notifications, 241 got mailed out. So in fairness to the 25 people that weren't notified, okay, this will be likely going back to planning and zoning on August 17th, and the process will go through another phase. I know that's disappointing to some people that are here tonight on both sides of the issue, but we want to make sure that we do this 100% right. And in fairness and honesty to everyone, we wanted to let you know this is it. This is why we're doing what we're doing. We have to do it. There was a mistake made in procedure. It was unintentional, but we need to notify everyone. So you're free to come up and speak on it, okay? Bear in mind that it will be going back to planning and zoning more than likely if this council decides to tonight, which I think we probably will. And then after that, there'll be council meetings again on this, okay? And I apologize again for the error that was made by county. It was a very small procedural step from someone in administration of the Department of Community Development, but the attorneys caught it. We want to make sure we do this in fairness to everybody right. So that being said,
Mr. Cronin?
Yes, sir.
If it's all right with you, can we just advance to that particular item and go ahead and make the right procedural moves so that we can eliminate your most likely statements from the, and it'll be very clear to everyone that we are in fact needing to table this one.
So we would need to amend the agenda to bring that forward now.
To go to bill number 4359.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Hazelwood, point of order, is that all fine? Do we need to do a roll, or are we fine?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Done.
And what we're doing now, folks, is we're going to go ahead and rule on that motion now, okay? That way, in fairness to you folks, if you want to get home to your families, you can. If you wish to come forward and speak, we're all ears. Come on up, okay? But we thought we'd at least give you the opportunity. So,
I'd like to make a motion to table bill number 4359.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? No opposition. So that bill is now tabled. And if Mr. Myers is in the audience, is he not? Okay. That will then go back to planning and zoning on August 17th. Is that correct? Okay. Would you like to step forward and just explain a little bit better detail what we just did in the process for these folks still here?
Sure. Procedurally, late last week, we determined that the notification was inadequate. The ordinance requires that all owners of property within 1,000 feet of any property in a rezoning be notified of a public hearing. And the public hearing is technically at the Planning and Zoning Commission, although there's public testimony taken at this body. Formally, the Planning and Zoning Commission is where the public hearing takes place. And so in order to cure that deficiency in the process, and so we'll make sure it's not left open any sort of challenge, and conferring with Keith Hazelwood, the county councilor, we'd like to recommend that this go back to the Planning and Zoning Commission in order to correct that public hearing and that notice.
Question, sir?
Yes, when this goes back to planning and zoning, the people will be notified.
Right.
Will all the people be notified, or just the 25 or so families?
No, everyone will be notified.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we'll repost the property with a new sign. We'll post the notices in the public buildings like we're required to. Everything that we're required to do for public notice we'll redo.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
just to clarify, are you expecting that the public hearing at P and Z will be on the 17th of August?
Yes, we're expecting that.
Okay.
And there'll be 266 letters going out to a lot of you in the audience to let you know that date. And then there'll be one hearing at P and Z? Is that correct?
Unless they would table it.
Right.
Typically, there's
Okay.
one hearing, yes.
And then will be introduced to the council as a brand-new bill for 2 more hearings at the council level? Is that correct?
Well, I'll let Keith
What you
Hazelwood
think,
answer
sir?
that, actually.
Mr. Chairman, that's a good question. The truly conservative thing to do would be to have a bill for introduction at your meeting of August 29, have it come up as a bill for passage on September the 12th. I think we ought to wait and see what the recommendation is from P&Z and to some extent, make our judgment accordingly. As you well remember, the recommendation from the June P&Z meeting was in favor of this rezoning. With the new public hearing, there could be a different recommendation from P&Z, and I think we ought to wait and see what does happen.
For the folks out in the audience as well, many of you that have sent emails or letters into the council, we've tried the best we could to notify you of this today. Hopefully some of you got the email and the word out. Donna did the best job she could. But I want to let you know and Donna and Carol, I'm sorry, okay? But I want to let you know if you want to contact council offices, if you'd like to be notified of the exact chain of events in this, we'll be happy to send you out an email to that effect. If you live close enough to the property, you're going to get letters. But if you're outside of that area, you can either talk to the folks that are in that area or check with council offices. It's probably also on Planning and Zoning and Council website as well.
Right. And also, I wanted to note that all the letters that we received and the remonstrances, the protests, those are all still part of the public record. Those are still in the record. So those don't all have to be turned in all over again. It's just it's still part of the public record.
Yes, so no, you're welcome to send more letters in, but the letters you've
Right.
already sent will be part of the public record for the new meetings, so you don't have to do that again. And I can tell you that we've seen all 92 or whatever of them, so, I've read most of them, so we're hearing you, okay? And that being said, I think we're ready to move on with it,
Okay.
okay? Thank you, Robert. Anything else?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
There have been some protests turned in. We will have that calculation done as to how many have been turned in well before August the 17th. That will eventually bear upon the number of favorable votes that would be required here at the county council level.
Okay, okay. Okay, moving on. I guess we'll move on to public comments then, okay?
Public presentations first. Mr.
We have no public presentations tonight, I don't believe, or do we? No? Okay.
I thought that's why Dr. Shonrock was here. That was the only reason.
Well, if you do, then it's fine. If you've got somebody who would like to present something to the council.
Dr. Shonrock, did you want to step forward now? This is Dr. Michael Shonrock, the president of Lindenwood.
I was getting all excited you were here to see me. Well, if it's happening in St. Charles, and I want to thank all of you for your leadership and service to our great area and the community. My wife and I have been here almost 14 months, and we have just loved it. And I want to take this opportunity to also thank all of you for extending our relationship and partnership with the Boone Center, Heritage Center, which is now officially a county park. So thank you all. It means a great deal to all of us to continue on something that was a great investment on all ends, but the greatest investment is for the investments in the future in the area, and that it will continue to be a park. I must say I was very pleased with the naming of the park. Somewhat biased there, Lindenwood Park, but I do want to tell you how much we appreciate that and how much it means to me. I actually just also wanted to take an opportunity. I see Steve's not here at this point, and I wanted to present to him something just as a small token of our appreciation, mostly mine. As you may know, as you come around St. Charles, I always say, pardon our dust, because of all the construction going on, and all of the orange cones that are at one point or other. Well, I've had the opportunity to be to a number of groundbreakings, some on the University Commons area and other places within the area. And so I've heard Steve on more than one occasion say how much he appreciated orange cones, and that meant growth and development. So what I wanted to do is present to him, so I'll just present it to all of you to present to Steve at one point. So it's in a really nice bag, by the way. But it is simply an orange cone. And the orange cone says, "Orange, you glad you live in St. Charles County." Steve Ellman, County Executive. And aren't you glad that you're a part of the council? So on behalf of Lindenwood and our entire family and all the campus faculty, staff, and students in our community, thank you very much. And I still love the orange cones as well. And I'll leave this over here so that he'll have something special for his desk when he gets back.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. And I'd like to add to that in the fact that we appreciate all the good that Lindenwood community has done for St. Charles County through the years, and the growth that you've experienced since I was a young man is phenomenal for St. Charles community. And your civic mindedness with the historic Boone property and now Lindenwood Park is unprecedented in this county. It was a great gift to the citizens of St. Charles County, and I think everybody really appreciates that. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. And as a reminder,
Anyone else?
not too far from now, we'll be celebrating 200 years in 12 years, 200 years as a university.
Yeah.
And no, I was not here then, but Boone Home was probably close. So
Okay. Terry was there, though. He was
I think I see some old photos from that time. So
anyone else would like to say anything?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
thank all of you.
Good evening. We have short comments. My name is Nancy Cope. I'm Director of Habitat for Humanity of St. Charles County. This is Ron Hollis here with me, one of our current board members and also one of our founding board members. We just quickly wanted to bring you up to date. We're getting ready to celebrate our 20th anniversary next year. We'll kick it off in December with our celebration of trees. Bring everyone quickly up to date on what we've been doing. We also need to ask for your help. 19 years ago, 5 dedicated St. Charles Rotarians got the idea to start a Habitat affiliate that is here in St. Charles County, works, builds, and serves St. Charles County only. Ron was one of those. He'd been to a meeting in Dallas and had seen what happened with Habitat. We partnered and got things started, and along with 15 other like-minded residents of St. Charles County, we built our very first home. That was 19 years ago. In that time, we've served 77 families. We've built, rehabbed, and refurbished 77 homes. We are very proud to say that in that time, in 19 years, we've only had 2 foreclosures. It is a very rigorous process to choose Habitat St. Charles families. They go through a very lengthy education process, and their down payment on their home is 350 sweat equity hours. A lot of people think that we give homes away. I will tell you, we do not give homes away. We raise money in the community. We squeeze every penny that's donated to us, and our families work really hard. They purchase their homes. It's a 30-year mortgage. They repay for those homes. The principal pays forward. It's a hand up, not a handout. That principal payment goes to us building more homes. And we are very proud to say that at the end of this year, when our families pay their real estate taxes, they will have paid $952,000 to the County of St. Charles. And we're very proud of that. We've seen children grow up healthier, graduate, go on to college, armed forces, and careers. We've seen parents' self-confidence grow, move forward in their jobs and their careers and their homes. We could not have accomplished this without all of you, without the support of the community. Local officials, businesses, individuals, churches have all really helped us grow. And 10 years ago, we opened our Restore. If you haven't been there, you need to go. It's a pretty awesome thing. We're receiving donations of new and used building materials and furniture. It helps us pay it forward and support ourselves in our mission. We are keeping things out of landfill and have recycled over 3,000 tons of building materials through the Restore. And we're very proud to say that the Restore is helping to cover all of our administrative expenses, so we are self-sufficient, and our donor dollars go directly to construction. We're very proud of that. A donor gets a tax receipt for a write-off to any donations made to the Restore, and our customers come and don't have to pay taxes. So we need your help. My 3 minutes are up. We're looking for property to purchase and build affordable homes. We've partnered with St. Charles City and helped them reclaim property that previously had been a problem. Our neighborhoods in Wentzville have really improved the surrounding areas. Our neighborhood in St. Peters is green and efficient. We're building our first universal design home in St. Charles City so that we can serve people who need additional help to live and age in their homes. We need your help. We need to find property in St. Charles. Problem properties, neighborhoods that need help, little infill lots. Talk to the developers that you work with and tell them those last 2 or 3 lots could be homes for workforce housing here. We build good quality homes. Most of them appraise in the 150, and we really need your help in looking for property so we can continue our mission. So I brought you our case for support. All of the programs that we have are in there. My card, we love to come and talk to people at some point, and just wanted to say thank you so much for your support and come help us celebrate 20 years.
Thank you very much, and thank you for all you do. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't think we have any other public presentations, is that correct? Okay. Now we're going to go to regular public comments, so if someone would like to come and address the board, feel free to come at this time. Please state your name and the item you wish to discuss. And your
Good
address.
evening. My name is Lisa Portilla, and I would like to talk about the rezoning of the Powell property. Members of the council, good evening. My last email to you addressed the removal of a sign I paid for from private property. A police report was made. The police spoke to a resident on Lindy's Landing Court. That resident told the police they had taken the sign because they thought it was on their property. The police explained the sign was not on their property and that it needed to be returned. The sign was indeed returned by the police the next day. No charges were filed since the sign was returned. I wonder if there are more things about the Powell property that the new owners don't know. In all of the plans and drawings, I don't see where they addressed the old cemetery that is there. Here's an article from the St. Charles Journal. It reads in part, "In walking around the property, I found the remains of an old cemetery about 300 feet east of the old stone home. I remember several years ago when Lambert Airport expanded. There was great concern about the legal and appropriate way to unearth, remove, and rebury human remains. Missouri law addresses this matter. I have heard it said in this chamber that you didn't hear from your people, so they must not care. I respectfully suggest that you didn't hear from your people because they didn't know. The county sent out 242 letters to homeowners within 1,000 feet of the Powell property. We were told by several county employees that we could force a remonstrance if 30% of those homeowners responded with a formal written protest. 30% of 242 is 72.6, so let's say 73 responses were needed. Those homeowners submitted 96 written protests. That's 40% response, not 30. Now that it has been accomplished, the county wants to change things up. They want to notify 20 more homeowners. That is the number I was told today by Mr. Hazelwood. Using that math, 79 homeowners within 1,000 feet would need to submit a written protest. Again, the homeowners have already submitted 96 written protests. We came to your meetings, we listened to your words, we followed your suggestions to the letter. And now that we have succeeded and met the goal you set, you want to start over? That does not seem ethical. You are our elected officials, for the people, by the people. 6 of you voted in 2013 to add low density to the single-family residential zoning that is in place. Why would you want to undo that now? We followed your guidelines, your rules. We came tonight to hear your vote. Please do not disappoint us all. Let me assure you, gentlemen, once residents found out about this rezoning, they most certainly did care. And you did hear from them. Here are copies of 245 letters of opposition. They've all been turned into the council. There was another handful delivered to the ladies this evening. People care. They care about their quiet enjoyment. They care about spot zoning. They care about bands playing until 11 o'clock. They care about drunks on our roads, their property values decreasing, and representation by our elected representatives. We care. Please care about us. What happens to the 96 written protests that have been submitted by homeowners? We would like an answer to that question tonight, and also in writing, please. What happens to our signed, notarized documents now? Gentlemen, the last 20 seconds go to the residents, the people who live in the surrounding neighborhoods, the people who make up this community. These are good, strong people who stand together with one common voice, one common goal, one common message. Please do not rezone this property. Let this maneuver make us stronger. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone that'd like to speak in favor of this project? Please come forward, state your name and address, please.
Hello, my name is Ruth Choate, and my fiance Mike Stanford and I we own the property. And the only thing I would like to say this evening is if anyone is in opposition of our rezoning, that is 100% their prerogative. But it is not their prerogative to go around the neighborhood door to door and defame our character, barrage people that want the rezoning, to lie, make up stories straight out of thin air, and falsify documents, forge people's signatures on opposition letters. I have proof of all of those things that I just said. So that is not their prerogative to do any of that. And going forward, we continue to say peace and love to all these people. The sign was actually put on our property, and the police officer told us we should have burned the sign. We took pictures of where they put it, so it was on our property. It's just another lie upon another lie upon another lie. So going forward, we would just like everybody that cares enough to be here tonight to fact check everything that was told to you at your door. If someone came to your door and told you anything about our plan, care enough to fact check it. Everything I've ever said is on paper, is in the minutes, is in the video. Everything can be verified. Go to the council, go to planning and zoning, or come to us if you would like to ask us any questions at all, because everything we say about our plan can be fact-checked. And if you care enough to be here tonight, care enough to fact-check, because you've been told a lot of stories. That's all I have to say. And we do want to make sure that there are plenty of good people out here that we understand if you are against it, going forward, no matter what happens, we will all still be neighbors, and we all still just want to get along. That's all. Thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there anyone else who would like to speak? This time would be against the McClay Mansion proposal.
I don't necessarily think I'm speaking against.
Okay, well, we'll let you be a neutral speaker.
I'll save that for another time.
Okay.
My name's Melissa Richardson. I live on Pines Drive in the subdivision. My question is, since we are going to table or put this discussion on another date, at what cost? Who pays for 264 letters to be sent out again? Is that really necessary? We, the government, will be paying, so we as taxpayers are going to have to send. Can we not just contact the 20-something people that didn't get this letter, hear back from them? You know, and as a taxpayer, I want to know where my tax money is going to. I think it's a waste of our time and money to send 260-something letters again when you already know that you have more than 50% of the community, 70% of the community against this. So I think it's a waste of our time and our taxpayer dollars to send notices all over again and start from the beginning. You know, they want to move on with their life, the neighbors want to move on with their lives. Let's just get the show on the road and figure out who's paying for this.
We're moving as fast as we can, but according to the advice by the Community Development Department and our attorneys, the notice needs to be in fairness to everybody that's going back to planning and zoning on the 17th of August, okay? And yes, we don't like to spend money lightly here, but it's also not fair to everybody to be notified again. And I think it's unfair to call this a maneuver. It was something that happened where it's unfortunate, we're sorry, but it's not going to change anything. In fact, if anything, it gives us a little bit more time to review this all over again and do it right.
I think everybody should be notified and notified the right way, you know?
Right.
Some neighbors got notices from the people that are for it. Some neighbors didn't get, I got 2 neighbors that got letters from Ruth and Mike. I didn't get a letter. So it's just, I want everybody to get the same information from the same people and know what's going on. And then we hear things that people are forging stuff. I know a notary came to my door. Nobody forged my signature. People went.
We have county staff, county attorney checking the validity of those signatures because it may force a remonstrance for the council, which for what that means, folks, is it would require a supermajority in this council for it to pass, which is 5 votes instead of 4. So just to be clear about the process. So please trust us the fact that we don't want to do this, but it needs to be done, so we're going to do it the right way. Okay. Thank you very much. Anyone else would like to speak on McClay Mansion, either for or against tonight? Yes, sir.
My name is Jim Strite. Thank you for your service, first of all. I've only had the pleasure of meeting John White one time. I happen to live in Spring Valley Woods subdivision. We moved there almost exactly a year ago. The point I wanted to make is, although we are 1.5 miles or 2 miles from this, it isn't just the residents that are within 1,000 feet that this impacts. It's also others around. And in our case, with Spring Valley Woods subdivision, there is a street that goes through our subdivision called Woodstream. And our concern is that when you have 250 people at a wedding or whatever it is, and afterwards they've obviously probably, I should say not obviously, but probably have had a drink or two, cutting through our neighborhood. Now, the reason that street is a cut through, we moved here, as I said, a year ago. When our family comes up, the GPS takes them through that wood stream to get to our house. That is not the way I would get there. But that's what shows up on a lot of GPSs, and that's what will show up on the GPSs to get to this venue. So it's going to increase traffic in our neighborhood going to the venue and also when it comes back. Now, I'm not saying there's going to be 200 cars going each way, but any increase along Woodstream in our neighborhood is an impact to us. Now, we aren't on the 266 that get notified. We didn't find out about this till probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, okay? I wanted to make sure that you as the council and the Planning and Zoning Commission, we will be there too, that they understand it's not just those homes in the neighborhood that get impacted. It's others around the area, okay? We thought we moved into a neighborhood that was really quiet and a nice home, and we're finding out this cut through, it's already dangerous, We've worked for the last year because we have a flooding problem, because continuously over the last 20 years, small things that get approved by councils and get inputted and they get built up, and all of a sudden, a neighborhood that was built 25, 30 years ago is now infatuated with water. We've met with the council on that. They're taking action. The St. Charles County is on that. But I use that as an example of what can happen when little things are made and they have a big impact down the road. So I would ask the council to consider that as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Okay, moving on. Is there anyone that would like to speak in favor of the McClay Mansion project? Okay, and since we've had 2 against, 1 for, and 1 neutral, I'll allow 1 more to speak against the McClay Mansion, should you choose to. Okay.
Can we get another neutral?
Pardon me?
Can we get another neutral?
Well, I'll take 1 more neutral, and that's it for the evening. How's that? Fair enough? Okay. And we'll move on. Please state your name and address, sir.
My name is Joe Plock. We just moved into St. Charles and bought a home on Peasold, which is, it dead ends up against the Powell Mansion project. And I'm one of the neighbors that signed one of the protests, and afterwards, questions came up, and I just would like a little clarification, which the main thing is, I was told there are plans for a service road coming through our neighborhood that would bring trash trucks and caterers, and after that, we started looking at the plans and we see, well, it looks like they have that as residential on that side, and I don't know what to think. You know, I don't know who to believe or what exactly is going on. And if that's the case, if it's not, I feel like I signed a document that was notarized under false pretense, because, you know, that's the main reason that I signed that document. So I don't know if I'm allowed to ask questions of the property owners in my comment, but that's...
Sir, what I'd like you to do, Ms. Choate made it very clear that she's willing to talk to the neighbors, okay? I think that's something that you and her need to discuss, and then you need to take your concerns to Mr. Robert Myers with Community Development Department, because we're going to be hearing this again, so
Right.
I think that is what I'd like to see. Terry?
I think that would be the thing, just to find out, you know, if your concern is really a concern.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
I'd also like to point out that during the planning zoning meeting, which I sit on the planning zoning commission, there were very few people that showed up at that meeting with the planning zoning. So if you want make your points, you may want to attend that planning zoning. I know it's more of an open public forum for more people to speak, so that'd be your opportunity.
Yeah. So thank you for coming up. Okay. Okay, we're gonna wind up the McClay Mansion. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak about any other item before the council this evening? If so, please come forward, state your name and address, and please tell me what you want to talk about. Mr. Dienoff.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, members of the County Council. Arnie Dienoff, resident public advocate, running for Lieutenant Governor of Missouri, which I'll get into some election code violations of Chapter 115 of the Revised State Statutes of Missouri. The first thing that I'd like to address is last on your consent agenda, which was no discussion by the council. I wish the council would listen to the people who pay your salary of $16,500 a year, plus medical benefits, a pension, a cell phone, and pay for an office staff for each one of you. But I think that last meeting, I tried to be as open and honest as I possibly could with the salt bid. Our salt bid was $56.26. The city of O'Fallon has a contract with Carhill that the city of O'Fallon is paying $47.64 per ton through the St. Charles County Salt Cooperative, and that's good through December 31st of this year. The St. Charles County Cooperative is a venture that was formed by the city of O'Fallon 5 or 6 years ago and managed by them. Is it pride or is it power not to call and reach out to O'Fallon and the O'Fallon Public Works Department? The 6,000 to 7,500,000 tons of salt that we require for St. Charles County, if we would have reached out to the St. Charles County Co-op, we would have saved taxpayers $37,000 to $40,000. So you know what I say to you, council members? I like you as persons, but I disagree with some of your politics, even though you're the same party as I. But shame on you for spending our money like that recklessly. When we had a co-op and it wouldn't cost us a dime to pick up a phone and call 636-240-2000 at the O'Fallon City Hall and ask about the co-op. The second thing on your agenda is bill number 4363. I say put the brakes on that bill. The man who is the director who came from O'Fallon has been on the job for less than 2 months, and he is calling for a reorganization of the Community Development Department. That is going to cost us big dollars in the 2016 budget. Now you propose to amend it, which I asked you to put it on hold, because at the last minute, Friday when you put the packet out, so people don't have time to research and make phone calls, you want to reorganize the Transportation Department and instead of a director, create a manager position for the Department of Transportation. So I ask that you put the brakes on and let the public have a chance to weigh in. On your agenda is also the first reading for a certification of additional revenue to the election authority. Well, you know, our election authority, in my running for public office, my own home county failed to meet statutory requirements as required by Chapter 115 to all candidates. I'd like to just show you a couple examples throughout the state of county election authorities who follow the law. Not sure how this works. Do I have to ask for it to be turned on, or?
No,
Okay.
just, but face up.
Upside
please.
down.
Okay, face up. In this first exhibit, we have section 115, and I'll try to wrap it up here, 115.233, which requires election authorities to announce to the public the testing of the machines, which was not done by the St. Charles County Election Authority. The test should be open to representatives of political parties, should have been sent to the chairman of each party. The news media and the public is required, it may attend. And as you can see, that was held last Friday. If we move on to Jackson County, which is a little bit bigger than St.
Mr.
Charles
Dinoff,
County.
we need to wrap this up. We got a busy night.
Yes, I
Please.
will. I just want to make clear that we're not following the law here. But here we again have another testing
If you'll,
procedure.
points made, if you want to leave copies of that with the council secretaries, I'll be certain that every member in this council
Once again,
gets it.
Mr. Chairman, in due respect, the council doesn't care that our election authority is blatantly violating the law.
You have your right to your opinion, sir. Thank you very much. Anyone else who would like to speak at public comments this evening, please come forward.
My name is Mike Geiger. I live at 26 Park Charles. I want to say that you gentlemen are very gracious and understanding gentlemen. That guy's annoying as all get out.
Okay, thank you, sir. Anyone else would like to speak in public comments tonight? Okay, hearing no one else wanting to speak, we're going to close public comments. We're going to move on to the oral report from county executive. Should Ms. Lakem decide to present something to us this evening?
There is no oral report of the county executive tonight,
Okay,
sir.
okay. Then we can divvy up his orange cone later on after the meeting, right? Okay, all right.
You can pass it around.
Okay, all right. Moving on to consent agenda. Are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda?
Motion for approval is presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none. Consent agenda is approved. We're going to wait just a second, let folks clear, and then we'll move on to bills for final passage. Okay, we're ready to move on. Bills for final passage, Bill number 4358.
Bill number 4358, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to execute intergovernmental agreements with municipalities for road maintenance and repair.
He did not want to withdraw it. I mean,
Any questions or comments regarding Bill 4358? Hearing none?
An ordinance authorizing the county executive to execute intergovernmental agreements with municipalities for road maintenance and repair. Councilmember Elam?
Yes.
Councilmember Hammond?
Yes.
Councilmember Cronin?
Yes.
Councilmember Hollander?
Yes.
Councilmember Klinghammer?
Yes.
Councilmember White?
Yes.
Bill number 4358 passes. Bill number 4359 has already been previously tabled, so we move on to Bill 4360.
Bill number 4360, an ordinance amending the zoning district map of the county of St. Charles, Missouri by rezoning land from R1A Single Family Residential District 1 acre minimum lot size to R1B Single Family Residential District 20,000 square foot minimum lot size as per application RZ 16-00000009.
Questions or comments regarding Bill number 4360? Hearing none?
An ordinance amending the zoning district map of the county of St. Charles, Missouri by rezoning land from R1A Single Family Residential District 1 acre minimum lot size to R1B Single Family Residential District 20,000 square foot minimum lot size as per application RZ 16-000009. Councilmember Hammond?
Yes.
Councilmember Cronin?
Yes.
Councilmember Hollander?
Yes.
Councilmember Klinghammer?
Councilman Klinghammer.
Yes.
Councilmember White?
Yes.
Councilmember Elam?
Yes.
Bill number 4360 passes. Moving on to Bill number 4361.
Bill number 4361, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to execute an intergovernmental agreement with Duckett Creek Sewer District for collection of sewer lateral repair fees.
Questions or comments regarding Bill 4361? Hearing none?
An ordinance authorizing the county executive to execute an intergovernmental agreement with Duckett Creek Sewer District for collection of sewer lateral repair fees. Councilmember Cronin?
Yes.
Councilmember Hollander?
Yes.
Councilmember Klinghammer? Councilmember White?
Yes.
Councilmember Elam?
Yes.
Councilmember Hammond?
Yes.
Bill 4361 passes. And Mr. Gross, you're free to come here more often. We'd like to see your smiling face a little more often, okay? Okay. Thank you. You keep the sewage flowing too. That's important, okay? Thank you, sir. Okay, moving on to Bill 4362.
Bill number 4362, an ordinance authorizing execution of supplement number 1 to the first amended intergovernmental agreement between the City of St. Peters and St. Charles County for the management of the Gateway Green Light Program, St. Charles County.
Questions and comments regarding Bill number 4362? Hearing none?
An ordinance authorizing execution of supplement number 1 to the first amended intergovernmental agreement between the City of St. Peters and St. Charles County for the management of the Gateway Green Light Program, St. Charles County. Councilmember Hollander?
Yes.
Councilmember Klinghammer?
Yes.
Councilmember White?
Yes.
Councilmember Elam?
Yes.
Councilmember Hammond?
Yes.
Councilmember Cronin?
Yes. Bill number 4362 passes. Moving on to Bill 4363. Chair would
I need to read the bill.
read the bill first. I'm sorry.
Bill number 4363, an ordinance reorganizing the Community Development Department, Building Division, and Neighborhood Preservation Division by repealing the current Chapter 132 in its entirety, enacting a new Chapter 132 ordinances of St. Charles County, Missouri, OSCCMO, amending the 2016 budget adopted by Ordinance 15-117 for positions within the St. Charles County Community Development Department, and amending Section 115.710 OSCCMO.
Questions or comments regarding Bill number 4363, and the chair will also entertain motions at this time.
I'd like to make a motion to amend Bill 4363 and replace it with substitute Bill 4363.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Okay.
I got
Questions? Go ahead. Good questions.
This one, it has more to do with the procedures of things. I don't really think that we should go around the the normal way of doing business is that we introduce an ordinance that deals with a particular subject. We let it sit there for, until the next meeting, and then we vote on it. Occasionally, yes, things do come up where we need to modify something, to make it more clear, to make it more understandable. But this one in particular has nothing to do, community development reorganization has nothing to do with reorganization of the transportation. And for that reason, I don't think the two should be married together. I think that independently, they make all the sense in the world. I would agree to both of them. Steve's, trying to find the right person to take Mr. Greitz's position. And it is a good time to look at where it fits in the proper organization. All those things I agree with. But fundamentally, I don't like combining two unrelated subjects and passing it without having it held over. So I'm going to vote no on it. I like Bill 4363. And I would like Bill, another one that reorganized the transportation department. That has nothing to do with it. I just don't like our habit of combining unrelated things.
I agree with you, and I had the same concerns, and because I don't like having two things on the same subject. I also voiced concerns a bit about changing it from transportation to the Department of Roads and Traffic, considering the fact that we also have rail transportation and river transportation in this county. That being said, I think time is of the essence, is why we have this before us now. And in that respect, I'd like Ms. Lakem to tell us, you need the transportation done now. Is that why this was combined? Or how much latitude do you have to wait to the next meeting? Okay.
The next meeting would be in August, and that would be past the deadline that I understand that we have for when we need to get this done in order to fill
We need
that
to get it
job.
done because we have a job offer out to someone?
Yes.
Is that, okay. And if it was the same way, that job offer, the acceptance of it would need to be ratified by us, but under the proposed revision, it would not come back to the council?
In the proposed revision, it's not a department director, so no, the charter just requires the council to approve department directors.
Okay. Personally, on this one, I believe that it's important that this person has the right skills to work with the municipalities as well as the county. I have utmost faith that Steve's appointments have all been great in the past, but I do believe that this type of sensitive position should be one that comes to us.
Point of order here, this does not come to us because this is not a director position, but a manager position. Okay?
Right.
And the other thing I would like to clarify as well is the reason we're doing it as a manager position is to widen the breadth of applicants, because there are very few qualified transportation directors in St. Charles County. But when we open it up as a manager's position to multiple counties around us, you have a greater pool of qualified applicants to
Because they don't
pick
need to
from.
live here.
Because they don't need to live here. Is that?
That is correct.
Okay.
And I'm comfortable with all those.
Yep.
That's not the issue.
Okay. Okay. I think everyone has voted but myself. Is that correct? Or do we do a roll on this? Or where are we at with it?
We only
Okay.
did the motion for amendment.
Okay.
Motion for, right.
I'll vote in favor of the amendment because I think the timeliness is important here. And that based on that the amendment does pass.
No, I have to read the title, the substitute, and
We
then call the roll.
voted to amend the bill.
Right, just,
okay.
right, just,
Voted on the
Right.
actual bill yet.
I'm saying that the motion to accept the amendment has passed. Okay, add a word in there. Okay,
that's correct.
moving on.
Substitute Bill Number 4363, an ordinance reorganizing the Transportation Department and Community Development Department, Building Division, and Neighborhood Preservation Division by repealing the current Chapter 132 in its entirety, enacting a new Chapter 132 ordinance of St. Charles County, Missouri, OSCCMO, amending the 2016 budget adopted by Ordinance 15-117 for positions within the St. Charles County Community Development and Transportation Department, and amending Section 115.710 OSCCMO. Councilmember Klinghammer.
No.
Councilmember White.
Yes.
Councilmember Elam.
Yes.
Councilmember Hammond.
Yes.
Councilmember Cronin.
Yes.
Councilmember Hollander.
Yes.
Okay, bill number 4363 amended passes. Moving on to bill number 4360, no, that's it for, that's the end of bills for final passage. We're going to move on to bill number 4364 for introduction.
Bill number 4364, request by Mike Hurlbert, sponsored by Joe Cronin. An ordinance amending the 2015 Annual Action Plan for St. Charles County, Missouri in its capacity as an urban county for fiscal year 2014 through 2016 under the Community Development Block Grant Program of the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, authorizing the county executive to execute all documents or certifications required for submittal to HUD with the action plan, and further authorizing the county executive to execute the funding approval agreements that HUD shall require upon approving the amendments to the 2015 Annual Action Plan.
Questions or comments regarding bill number 4364? Okay, moving on to bill 4365.
Bill number 4365, requested by Bob Schnurr, sponsored by Joe Cronin. An ordinance amending the 2016 budget adopted as ordinance 15-117 by making supplemental appropriations to the Election Services Fund in the amount of $60,075 and the Election Authority Fund in the amount of $18,183.
Questions or comments regarding bill number 4365? Okay, hearing none, we move on to bill 4366.
Bill number 4366, request by Steve Ellman, sponsored by council as a whole. An ordinance amending section 136.050 ordinances of St. Charles County, Missouri, OSCCMO, relating to inviting qualified proposers to participate in phases 2 and 3 of the design-build process.
Questions or comments and/or would folks like to have Corey come up here and explain this a little bit more detail? From what I understand, Corey, it's to make it more palatable for more bidders to get involved in the process. Is that what the basic?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it changes it from, instead of requiring us to bring 5 DB firms, it allows us to bring up to 5.
Mm-hmm.
So when people are going out to bid this project, they don't have to think they're competing against 4 other entities. They compete up to, so it's a little more enticing.
You
to
think
the
you can get
public.
more participants in the process this way?
Yeah, we've reached out to a few different GCs in the St. Louis market, and that was kind of the big feedback for them was it was too cutthroat when there was 5 people there, and they felt like they wasn't worth their time.
Questions or comments for Corey or anything regarding this bill? Okay, moving on. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bill number 4367, requested by Belinda Little, sponsored by council as a whole. An ordinance amending section 115.710 of the ordinances of St. Charles County, Missouri, OSCCMO, concerning the classification plan and the personnel administration plan, and amending the 2016 annual budget to reflect the classification change of certain positions.
Questions or comments regarding bill number 4367? Hearing none.
Bill number 4368, request by Craig Tykowski, sponsored by Joe Cronin, an ordinance vacating a portion of the right-of-way of Totebush Road for non-use in accordance with section 228.190 RSMO.
Questions or comments regarding bill 4368? Hearing none.
Now, this is the one that we just need to mention that there has been
Oh, yes, I'm sorry about that.
a revision of.
We have a different exhibit that they revised after the agenda was published. So the new exhibit, I'm probably correct to say, will be on the county's website for people to review.
That's correct, with the next.
So basically, the exhibit is a map, and there's some changes to it that were revised in the plat description. So anyone that wants to get greater detail on this, they've got 2 weeks to look at it hard before the next council meeting.
Correct.
Okay? Fair enough?
Good
Okay. Moving on to bill number 4369.
Bill number 4369, requested by Joe Cronin, sponsored by council as a whole. An ordinance prohibiting certain persons from carrying concealed or unconcealed weapons in the St. Charles County Council chambers, County Council conference rooms, and County Council offices, and authorizing the posting of signs notifying persons of that prohibition.
Questions or comments regarding this bill? Since I worked on it, I just would tell you what the general consensus is. We're trying to make this safer for the public. And there's been a lot of, this is just opening discussion of safety in this council chambers. There's been a lot of give and take between the police department and the administration and reviewing of state laws, so there will likely be amendments to this. State law currently does not allow weapons in this room anyway. We're going just to basically reiterate state law to make sure that we keep these council meetings safe in these troubling times. So that being said, we'll move on unless anyone else has any comments regarding that. Okay. And are there any announcements or miscellaneous this evening from anybody? No? I'll take.
Move to adjourn. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No, we'll adjourn. Thank you, folks. Thank you for coming.